What if you could look into the past or peer into the future? What if you could see what happened before you were born, or catch a glimpse of what life would be like 1,000 years from now? Humans have always dreamed of ways to transcend time. Books, movies, and myths have woven tales of time travelers who change history or witness its grand sweep. But what if time travel wasn't just a figment of our imagination? What if it was possible? Let's dive into the intriguing question. It is possible. Einstein's theory of relativity tells us that time slows down when you move really fast, like close to the speed of light. This means if you blast off into space at near light speed, time would pass more slowly for you than for everyone back home. That could let you travel hundreds or thousands of years into the future without realizing it. Then there are wormholes, which are like shortcuts through space-time. Although we haven't found any yet, scientists think they might exist somewhere out there in the vast universe. If we discovered a wormhole that was stable and safe to travel through, it could open up the possibility of traveling across centuries in an instant. And finally, there's quantum mechanics, which is the study of how tiny particles like atoms and photons behave. When we look at these particles, we see that they sometimes act like waves and sometimes act like tiny balls. This strange behavior suggests that time could be bent or distorted in ways we don't fully understand yet. Some scientists even believe that multiple timelines or parallel universes exist where different versions of ourselves make different choices and live different lives. The grandfather paradox: if you could go back in time, say to the days when dinosaurs roamed the earth or to the birth of our universe, it raises a big question. What happens if you go back in time and do something that changes things, like stopping your grandparents from meeting each other? If your grandparents didn't meet, would you have been born? It seems impossible. This is called the grandfather paradox. If you go back in time and change something, you could end up causing all sorts of problems with the way things are supposed to work. In fact, even making the smallest change in the past could have huge and unexpected consequences for the future. This idea is known as the butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps its wings in China and causes a tornado in Texas. It means that one little action can cause big changes later on. 3. Future travel vs. Past travel. Traveling to the future is theoretically possible and not that far-fetched. Since astronauts who spend long periods in space already experience a tiny bit of time dilation due to their speed, this means that when they return to Earth, they are technically a few seconds younger than their counterparts who stayed on Earth. Traveling to the past, however, is much more complicated and fraught with paradoxes and logical issues that haven't been resolved. 4. Dangers of time travel. Time travel poses many dangers. One of them is rewriting history. If someone goes back in time and does something that changes important historical events, it could create all sorts of problems in the present and in the future. For example, let's say you go back in time and accidentally prevent Abraham Lincoln from being born. Without Lincoln, the United States might have turned out very differently. And who knows what kind of chaos that could create in the future. Another danger is meeting your past or future self. If you go back in time and meet yourself, it could create all sorts of paradoxes. For example, let us say you go back in time and give your younger self some important information that changes everything. But if that happens, would you still be the same person you were before? What if you met your future self and that version of you wanted to kill you? There are also concerns about governments and other powers getting hold of this technology. If certain governments or organizations get their hands on time travel, they could use it for evil purposes. For example, they could go back in time and assassinate important world leaders or change history to make themselves look better. Also, if time travel ever becomes a reality, there are worries that it could break reality as we know it. Even making one little change in the past could have huge and unpredictable consequences for the future. 5. Benefits of time travel. Despite the dangers, time travel could also bring a lot of benefits. One of them is learning from history. If you could go back in time and witness important historical events firsthand, you would gain a deeper understanding of how our world became what it is today. You could see the signing of the Declaration of Independence or walk the streets of ancient Rome. Another benefit is preventing disasters. If you could go back in time and prevent disasters like wars or natural disasters, you could save countless lives and suffering. For example, you could go back in time and warn people about a tsunami or prevent a nuclear accident. Additionally, time travel could allow you to meet lost loved ones again. If you could go back in time and meet people who have passed away, it could bring a lot of comfort and closure to grieving people. Imagine being able to say goodbye to your loved ones properly or to get one more chance to talk to them. Moreover, time travel would give you a chance to explore the far distant future of Earth and humanity. You could see how our planet and society evolve over millions of years and maybe even find out whether humans become extinct. 6. Religious and philosophical questions. There are also some deep religious and philosophical questions that come up when thinking about time travel. Many religions teach that only a higher power, such as God, should have the ability to control time. So some people might argue that time travel is essentially playing God and is therefore wrong. Additionally, if you could go back in time and change things, it raises questions about free will. If you could go back in time and change the events that led up to your birth, does that mean that you never had free will in the first place? Instead, your life might be preordained and set in stone. 7. Time travel in pop culture. The idea of time travel has captured the imagination of storytellers for decades. From books to movies and TV shows, there are countless stories about people who travel through time and the crazy adventures they have. One of the most famous examples is the Back to the Future series, which follows the adventures of Marty McFly and Doc Brown as they use a time-traveling DeLorean to go back in time and change events that affect Marty's future. Other popular examples include the movie Interstellar, which explores the concept of time dilation, and the TV show Avengers Endgame, which features time travel as a key plot device. These stories not only entertain us, but also help us to think about the possibilities and implications of time travel. They make us wonder what it would be like to travel through time and what kind of adventures we might have. 8. If time travel was invented today, it would raise a lot of questions. First off, who would control this technology? Would it be governments, private companies, or individual scientists? Governments might want to keep time travel a secret and use it for their own purposes, like changing history to make themselves look better or assassinating important people in other countries. Private companies might want to get their hands on time travel to make lots of money by exploiting the technology. Individual scientists might be interested in using time travel to learn more about the universe or to make changes that they think will make the world a better place. Another question is whether time travel would be used to save humanity. Some people think that time travel could be used to prevent disasters like wars or natural disasters. Others think that time travel would be too dangerous and unpredictable to risk. It's possible that time travel could lead to the destruction of humanity. If someone goes back in time and makes a small change that has unintended consequences, it could set off a chain reaction that leads to the end of the world as we know it. 9. In time we trust time is a tricky thing. It seems to slip through our fingers no matter how hard we try to hold on to it. We all remember moments from our past and dream about what the future holds. Time travel lets us peek into those mysteries, but it also brings up deep questions about free will, fate, and the nature of our existence. Whether we use it to fix mistakes, meet historical figures, or just see what's ahead, time travel is a journey we all want to take. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment below with your ideas and suggestions. We can't wait to hear what you have to say. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button so we can continue creating more engaging content for you. Your support means everything to us. Thanks again for watching. See you soon.